So much for keeping that short. Um, my apologies. There's a lot to show. We'll pick up kind of where I left off. We were talking about how the hardware gets gathered in the process with that. I'll wrap this up on the Power Automate part. We do secondary installs, which just is a different way to handle how we actually get out to the job sites and do different things. These attachments, this was interesting. So this is is actually pulling those files that got attached in the model driven app, base 64, pulling that stuff out and then actually writing it to Azure Blob Storage. Much cheaper way to try to do that. And we're making some calls through the Business Central side of things to use a third party app that they use called Continia to manage that. So this was an interesting little component to put together. This finishes up by updating the quote status and writing that sales order job information back into Dataverse, and then sending an email just as an Outlook call back to the sales designer so that they know that that job has completed. So that's the Power Automate script that we put together for this. So that gets the data. I'll show you briefly over into Business Central. So this is our ERP system in the back end. And so when these jobs land, this is all the information. A lot of this was put into to Dataverse through the model-driven app and the quoting tool. These purchase orders were created as it walked through that data through the Power Automate script and generating those components. So all this is put together. We get a bunch of purchase orders and a sales order, and this job is ready for our purchasing and scheduling departments to start working on. These are those files, those PDF files that were attached in Dataverse, pulled through and brought up on this side. Again, that was a fun little area to try to figure out and get that to work. So in addition to all of that, I did some Power BI work. This is a chart that just shows sales by month, by sales designer, and by region. This is pulling directly out of Dataverse. So you can change the month on this and it'll update there. This running total, you can click here, pick a particular day. So that's what happened on the 11th. That's what happened on the 13th. And you can kind of see how the month progressed. Likewise, you can click on an individual sales designer, and then that'll show you how he progressed over the month and how he got to his total. So all this stuff is interactive. That was a lot of fun to understand and put together as well with that. This system to date, we've been live 14 months, and we've pushed through a little over 4,500 jobs from Evolve, which is our PowerApps back into Business Central. And it's been working really smooth to this point. We did, when we brought on the junior developer, I actually took some time and we did some work within GitHub to allow that to start pulling, to be able to do version control basically and build a bunch of actions in here that, exports from our dev environments and branches into GitHub, into the repository. Another one that would pull from the repository back in our environment so we can make changes in individual environments and push them back and forth. These were interesting. These are actually tied to release actions. So when we generated a new release, you get these artifacts and the different components, but this would trigger the process through the actions that would actually gather all the information out of the repository and package it together and push it into a build environment, because again, everything's unmanaged in our dev environments, but we want to get it to a managed solution state so that it couldn't be changed in production or QA. So this process would push it to a build environment and then pull it back out of the build environment as a managed solution and then deploy it to our QA environment. And then we could use that same artifact to deploy to prod later, when we were ready to move forward with that. So this was, again, something that helped us kind of not step on each other as we were building all of this out. That's kind of the nuts and bolts of what we've worked on. Um, Again, it's been really really fun learning new components. Shane and those videos were incredibly instrumental. Was really fun to learn something new. It was a very good fit for my skills on the database side, and yeah, look forward to hopefully hearing from you guys very soon. Thanks again for your time.